Shut up and sit down.
Hey super friends, I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And if you enjoy our videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell thing. That would be very kind of you indeed. And a trailer just dropped today for the new Miss Marvel TV show, including the release date. We are huge Marvel fans, so I think we're going to just dive straight in and check it out. We have quite a lot of opinions. We know why this show is so polarizing. So if you want to hear those opinions and see what we think about this trailer, then stick around until the end. But for now,
let's go.
Let's go! Oh, yes.
Oh, I like the intro being a dream sequence.
Okay, so first off, I just want to say, I get it.
You get what?
High school.
Kamala.
Another Avengers shirt. Cute.
She thinks I'm some kind of weirdo.
You were a weirdo.
Boys. Excuse me? You're kind of on my shirt.
Sorry.
But you're staring out the window in your little fantasy land. Kamala, hey! Already? Really? Come on, like...
Do I have to figure out my whole future before lunch, or is it too late? Maybe they're right. I spend too much time in fantasy land.
That is not you.
It's not really the brown girls from Jersey City who save the world. That's a fantasy too.
Did something happen to you?
No, why? Did you hear something?
Kamala?
What does it feel like?
Cosmic.
Oh my goodness.
I always thought I wanted this kind of life, but I never imagined any of this.
Do you even know what you are?
I'm a superhero.
Wow. So, the trailer for Miss Marvel coming to us in June, not long after Moon Knight has finished, which is kind of amazing in itself. What were your first takeaways from the trailer?
It looks really sweet. I think that's something that we haven't really seen from the other Marvel series, is just something that's focused on just someone who's fairly insignificant feeling and has this rich fantasy life. I'm wondering if there's going to be elements of you're not quite sure what's real because she's been fantasizing so much. I'm hoping not. I would like it if they just gave her some genuine superpowers. That would be good. But it's an interesting concept for them to explore.
Yeah, and I think you're right. So I read the Miss Marvel comics, which honestly, I wasn't that blown away by the storyline in the comics, but plot twist, the story of a high school girl, a Pakistani American living in Jersey City, is not aimed at me. Like, I've had superheroes in comics that look vaguely like me for the last 90 to 100 years. Not that many, as she said, brown girls from Jersey in comic books, so it doesn't actually matter whether I enjoy the comics or not. What I think is really interesting here, though, and I think what has either intrigued / annoyed hardcore comics fans, is they haven't really followed the same story of the comics. And I don't know if it necessarily matters too much, but the comics are centered around this girl who is feeling very insecure in her own skin. She fantasizes constantly about Captain Marvel, the one played by Brie Larson in the Marvel Universe, and she eventually kind of morphs into that character. But morphing into that character, that's not who she is. She's Kamala Khan. She's not Captain Marvel. So therefore, the comics are all about her discovering who she is and being her authentic self, which I think is a topic that any high school kid of any gender or background can identify with, but particularly people who are a Muslim, a Pakistani, living as an immigrant in another country, in a poorer area with cultural conflicts and family conflicts. There's a lot in there which really gives that character depth. Now, in the TV show, it appears that she's got some kind of cosmic powers, like she's got some kind of shield, she's walking on these cosmic energy things, so not the same kind of morphing powers that we saw in the comic book. But I don't know if that really matters. Like, if the story is still centered around Kamala Khan finding herself, being authentic, learning about who she is, and becoming a superhero through that journey, I think that's as valid, and I'm not too worried about that. And the other thing that I've heard people complain about is that there are roles in the movie where they've selected actors for those roles who are not necessarily from that background. And I think that's always a common cause for debate. And again, who the hell am I to weigh in with an opinion on that? Like, the whitest, malest person out there. But to me, this show will give representation to a community of people that have never seen people like themselves in this kind of a show before. Is it perfect? Probably not. But is it a step in the right direction? Probably yes. That is my ignorant opinion on this. Disagree with us in the comments if you strongly dislike it. Anything else that jumped out at you that was noteworthy in this?
Nothing specific. I think just to underscore what you were saying, I do feel like we can have both. We can be critical of the representation not being accurate while also being glad that they are involving actors and performers who are underrepresented hugely. And maybe once we get a bit more parity with underrepresented people being more represented, then we can start to we'll have more ability to get more nitpicky about which underrepresented people are playing which underrepresented characters. But for now, I think it's okay to be frustrated that it's not better, but still glad that we are heading towards a place where people can see themselves reflected a little bit more in the favorite media that they like.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. If you want to see more representation, support shows that are pushing the envelope and pushing the agenda of more representation. Even if that show's not perfect now, it paves the way to better shows and more representation in future. So, I gotta say, I'm really feeling the love. I love the kind of weird comic-y art style. I love the sort of younger vibe of this. I'm sure there's a whole demographic of people to whom this will really, really resonate. So, yeah, it looks super promising at the moment. Well, I guess we're going to see more of Miss Marvel over the next few months. I'm sure as Moon Knight premieres very, very soon and then starts to wrap up, we'll see a lot more about Miss Marvel to whet our appetite. I guess the one thing we don't know yet is who is the villain. Is there a villain? How does Miss Marvel fit into the rest of the MCU? How does Miss Marvel then go on to join Captain Marvel in The Marvels? So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and kind of good. I don't want too many spoilers at this point. Well, anyway, thank you so much for cluing us in to the fact that Miss Marvel's trailer was coming out. Looks awesome, and thanks for watching our video. We hope we entertained you for a minute, and if so, we'll see you again very, very soon, friends, on the next Nerd Safari.
Peace out, nerds.
Shut up and sit down.